This is a Podco original.
It was always such a victory for me when I got a genuine laugh out of Selena, and the laugh that she does.
Yeah, you get a TV show, you get free food, a good parking spot, and you get to be on the softball team.
I can't.
Why does Max have crickets? Like, what? I don't get that.
Why does Max do anything?
We should all be more like Max.
So then the Russos hear the ruckus upstairs.
The what? What was that?
The ruckus.
Was that a ruckus?
That was a ruckus?
Can you describe the ruckus? Oh, hey, Jen Stone.
Hello, David Delley's fancy.
Hi, everybody out there in the wizarding world. I mean,
What?
Listen, are we in a Matrix or are we not?
You know what? Oh, God. You were spiraling. What?
I just saw an interview on Stephen Colbert with Keanu.
Oh, your boy, your boof.
He was like rapidly being asked what he felt
the Colbert questionnaire.
Yeah, but of what's happening, and then he was asked about the Matrix, and he got emotional. It was because I think those movies have really affected people. And then he told this: so are we in the Matrix? Are we not? Is it real? Is it not real? You know. And he told a story about this younger girl who was saying, what's the Matrix? And he was explaining it to her about this guy. He's not sure if he's in the world or not. And she said, well, why does it matter? Right? Isn't that great?
Because also, too, like, think about the absurdity. I love that we're starting the podcast about a children's show, and we're like, let's talk about the absurdity of life and existence. But like, think about the absurdity that we are all like bags of meat and blood and skin, walking around sentient on a rock in the middle of space. It's crazy.
Let me ask you a question. Are we not primarily water? Aren't we made up
70%.
of water? And then if you look at...
But it's also like water molecules. So like there has to be water in like every single thing, like your muscle tissue, your skin.
Right. And I don't know who it was, but they did like an experiment. They played like death metal to water, and then they froze it. Yeah. And then they played like sweet, wonderful music to water, and they froze it.
Okay.
And this was like not happy when they went and looked at it. And then this water was like, beautiful, it was affected in a positive way.
Interesting. No wonder I'm not happy. I listen to all this like angry.
Wait a minute. Is that a real thing? Happy?
No, you said that just now.
I said happy?
Happy. Okay. I like it. Okay. Right. So this week we are rewatching. So now that we've just established.
Just said, David, shut up. Let's move on.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know. Okay, I got my notes.
A rewatch podcast, not to be like, why is Jen depressed and the world doesn't matter?
Hugh is Normous.
Hugh's not Normous. Nothing fucking matters.
Okay.
Okay. So season 2, episode 18 is Hugh's Not Normous, aired April 12th, 2009, written by Justin Varava and directed by Ken Ciesler.
I don't remember Ken. Do you remember Ken? I don't remember Ken. I'm sorry.
A lot of this episode is a blackout.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. So we're going to wing it, baby. We're going to do it live.
This was one of those I didn't remember anything.
Yeah, this is a blackout episode.
But I thought it was funny. It was a funny episode.
But you rewatched it and you're like, I'm hilarious.
Not just me.
Okay, so we start off in the lair with Alex strapping Harper. I do remember this bit.
Oh my God, you were on the rack.
And it did make me laugh.
Right.
Because also it's like Harper's trust. You would think with her family life, she would not be so trusting. But with Alex, she just goes with it. So just trusting her blindly into this medieval torture device looking thing, straps her into the wizard stretcher because Alex forgot to do her wizard presentation. So she's making up one on the spot. Wizards versus mortals. Who is stretchier? And it looks, I love Jerry coming in, doesn't even know what's going on. He goes, we're not doing that.
Yeah, no, take her out of there.
We're not doing that.
Right.
So then Alex zaps Max into the stretcher and he acts like he's being tickled because Justin told him that the stretcher tickles people. Then realized he was just messing with him and it doesn't.
Classic Max.
Classic. Harper exits laughing, saying she laughs to hide the pain. And it was always such a victory for me when I got a genuine laugh out of Selena, and the laugh that she does was genuine.
And exactly, you can tell that it's funny. If you guys watch it, she is really genuinely laughing.
It's a genuine laugh when there's like a sweetness that isn't, because like, not that Alex is sour, but like there's just, it's like a sandpaper. She's a little gruffer than like Selena. So when Selena peeks through, there's a sweetness.
And I think she goes, I don't remember exactly, but she kind of goes down and kind of tried to hide it, like when you're genuinely laughing, it's you coming out real, rather than Alex Russo laughs, I'm sure she would laugh more like
outward.
Yeah.
Well, it's like with crying too. Like normally when you cry, like you try to hide it from people versus like a lot of actors will be like, I'm crying. This is my moment.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It is too much. On the crying thing, I'm just going to say, I did this movie called, I don't know, Last Summer, or I don't know what the hell it was called.
I swear to God, if you were like, so I did Third Rock from the Sun.
Stop
I
it.
was like,
So I was talking to this kid, the kid in the movie, and we're talking about his mom passed away and this and that. And
that everything is meaningless.
I had, no. And then I had my single tear moment. But I thought, oh my God, I'm having my single tear moment. This is great. And then I was like, get back into it. And you know. Have you had a single tear moment?
I don't know if I have. I'm a pretty...
You just cry.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Deloise, is that I repress so much that when I do cry, it just like it's not pretty. Like there's not a single. If one's coming, the floodgates are happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because you just push it down, baby. That's the healthy way. Okay. So then Jerry tells Alex that she isn't always a nice person. So when Hugh Normous enters with his tiny little hobo bindle.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Jen.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing to say to your daughter.
But is he wrong?
No, but you're not going to, well, I wouldn't say she's not nice. I would say that she's concerned about herself. You know what I mean? And it's not great to be selfish, but that's who she is. She's not trying to hurt other people, but indirectly she does.
Though. Like when you put your needs over other people, and not saying in like a self-preservation way, but when you prioritize yourself first over everything, that's not the nicest trait.
I don't know. Look,
right? But to have your dad be like, you suck as a human is not great.
Yeah, that is not good.
Yeah, if I can pull it together, Jerry.
I just wanted to say, overall, I thought this episode had a lot of really good jokes. And there's a lot of like kind of, not so much storyline, but kind of like out of the box jokes that kind of came in that I thought were great.
Like the out of the blue stuff.
Yeah.
That to me, I find very funny.
What kind of joke is that?
Left field?
A left field joke, which I played left field on the softball team of Wizards, by the way. Okay, thank you.
How long did that last, the Wizards softball team?
It's still going on. No, 3.
I wasn't invited.
I think it was 3 seasons.
Really? That long?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't really play. I mean, I played softball when I was a kid, but like by the time we did the show, I wasn't a big softball player.
Listen, my whole thing is you get a TV show, you get free food, a good parking spot, and you get to be on the softball team.
I can't. I miss the softball team. That bums me out. Okay. So
Josh shows up.
Hugh
shows up.
Played by the wonderful Josh Sussman, who we love on the pod. Enters with his tiny hobo bindle through the wizard portal. He reveals his life has been a huge lie. Because he is adopted by his giant parents. Justin suggests that Alex start trying to be nicer by doing small things like not lying about how good Justin's haircuts are or putting hamster food in Max's oatmeal. Alex decides if it's Hugh's lucky day and that he happened to show up on the one day that she decided to do something nice for people, which is unlike her, and she'll help Hugh locate his biological parents. And if that doesn't work out, she'll just hide Hugh in her room, which sounds a lot more Alex coded.
Which is heavy duty. This whole thing about being adopted.
Yeah.
That's a big topic.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know anybody who's
I'm sure I do, but like we don't make it a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't imagine just kind of how much it would unroot your idea of reality to the people that you thought were your parents are now all of a sudden not.
So let's say you adopt someone, right? A baby.
I don't like kids.
Do you?
Okay, so let's say in The Matrix,
do
I'm a
you
fan
decide
of the
to
Chillins.
tell your child that they're not biological or not? Do you like where is it? Do we tell them or not tell them?
If I was trying to have empathy with what that situation is, I think to me it's not the fact that who I thought was my parents aren't my parents. It's the fact of not being told the truth. That would be the thing I would have a hard time with.
But now you're the parent.
I know, but what I'm saying is, to me, as soon as the child would have, coming from someone who's not a parent and has never been in this situation, I can only pontificate. But to me, it would be when the kid is old enough to have a concept of what that means. And every child's different. Some kids have a concept earlier. Some people have a concept later. So I don't know an exact
7,
age.
14?
I don't know. It's because you've seen kids where it's like they're just a little bit more sweeter and innocent. And they don't grasp some of the harder things in life. And then I've seen kids that they grasp that a lot sooner. So to me, it's like it's really based on that child and like what, like what you feel they're ready for.
It's intense. That's a tricky situation.
I think the hardest thing is the cases where like Jack Nicholson, where he thought his sister he thought his grandmother was his mom and his sister was actually his mom.
Right.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine that. Like growing up your whole life and being like, can you imagine if Michael was your dad?
No, that would be weird.
That'd be weird.
But Michael has a daughter that we didn't know about for a very long time, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And now I have a relationship with her, and she's super sweet. And it's the traits, the nature and nurture.
Well, and the DeLuise traits are so strong.
She smiles like this.
Yeah. So
big
strong.
Big smile.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No, but like it's one of those things that there isn't, just like with parenting in general, which again, I feel like a total imposter even talking about this because it's not anything I've done. You would know more about this than I would, but there isn't a right answer. And you kind of just have to gauge it, by the child and by the moment and by what you know best.
Well, I totally agree.
So back to the children's show.
Oh, wait, there was a great line where I was like, I'm going to go try to console Harper from crying, to stop crying. That was so funny. I loved it. That was my exit.
Yeah. Well, I also love too, like there were times I felt like where they had to like, shit, we got to get this character out of the room. How are we going to do that? Harper always had really weird ones. And then like occasionally they'd throw one to you too that you were like, what?
Excuse me. Sorry. I love when you... and you go.
I still do that.
I didn't do it.
I sometimes do that.
Good, like you. There it is.
Yeah. The nervous laughing. Yeah, I still leave rooms like that. So Hugh explains that he's always known that he was adopted, but had always assumed that his biological parents were also giants as well until learning today that he was just a regular sized boy.
It's interesting because typically later in the episode is very interesting how they kind of deal with it. But the whether they were giants or not, rather than whether they loved him or not. You know what I mean? It was that was what he was curious about. Okay.
And that's, I would imagine anybody in that situation would be curious about that. In the loft, Max has a thinking face on, which looks very much like he's shitting his pants, and reveals to Teresa that, doesn't it? I'm sorry. He's literally on there just like,
yeah.
You know how babies make that face? Babies make that like.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. See, this is part of what I'm not into. No interest. Gross.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's making the baby poop face. And Teresa, and reveals to Teresa that he's tired of Alex always getting the best of him and is going to play a practical joke on her as he refers to it as revenge.
Yeah.
I love this bit. Go ahead.
I just thought it was so bizarre that Teresa loves messing
so
with.
Bad at it.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's
It's
like,
such a good gag.
she's like, I crimpled up his clothes, or I put signs on his back, or when
he's smelly. I smell like
it's so silly, right?
But it's so sweet, like how much she loves it and how awful and bad at it she is. She's so bad.
It's funny.
No, it was a good gag. I really like that one. But Teresa tries to make suggestions by her bad examples of how she pranks Jerry, which is, I smell bad, like you said, crumples up the clothes.
Right.
So then Alex leads Hugh up to her room and asks if he is feeling better. Of course, he doesn't feel better because she didn't do anything. She realizes talking to him about his problems is just too hard.
That was a good bit.
Right?
She's like, do you want to talk about it? And he starts, she goes, no, that's not working. Let's not
too hard.
do that.
That's too
Let's use
difficult.
magic.
Yeah. So decides to use magic to turn him into a giant, put on a show, let Hugh know what it's like to grow.
And then the rooms go smaller, which is very much like a genie kind of spell, right?
The props and the set deck on this episode were
awesome.
so good.
Yeah.
I just felt like they just like brought it to another level. Like them going in and out of the tiny little door was so good.
And there was
the tiny little posters.
The special effects I thought were pretty good because it really did look to me like they were
But they were practical. That's why. They were a lot of, not all of them, but like a lot of them were practical effects. Like the little posters on the wall were actually there, which is why I think they're a lot more timeless than like the lava, right? Remember when they were
so the room shrank special effects wise, and then it was practical when they were actually in the room.
When they were actually in the room, and then I think like they just made them bigger, but the room, they got like a still shot of the room itself.
Right.
Because you remember how they would do like, let's get a clean plate.
The plate in the background. Right.
So like they got a clean plate of it, grew them, and then did like the cuts into the actual practical set, which I thought was really cool.
And then so Selena's going to go and help, and the joke of what do giants like to do? They like to just talk about how small things are.
I know.
And then she hands him a pillow, and he very genuinely goes, well, it's a really small pillow. So for people who are just listening, I have a phone.
This is
perfect. There's a little folding chair in my hand. It's a phone holder, but it's a little chair. Look, I'm like Hugh Normous.
Yeah, you are like Hugh Normous. I didn't even think about that, but that's perfect. And like Hugh would try to like sit in it. So then she does put on a show, let Hugh know what it's like to grow, messes it up, actually makes her room smaller. And then Alex runs into Hugh's actually giant parents in the lair while she's trying to fix her mess. It was always an upstairs, downstairs, run upstairs, downstairs to try to fix things. And
I'm a huge fan, Jerry is a huge fan of giants. And the way they filmed the giants, you don't see their heads.
Yeah.
And they slowed down the film a little bit.
Yeah, so they moved a little like grander.
That?
I didn't notice that, but that's really cool.
They slowed them down just a little bit. And how funny, I mean, not funny, but you never see... their
parents.
Well, you never see their faces.
Yeah, well, they're
you just
so
see
huge.
their bodies.
But I also love because the way that they had like Alex and Hugh get really big. I love that they made the choice of not seeing the giants' faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they could have, and to me, that would have made it. Again, it's the suspension of disbelief, and it's the fact that like the imagination will fill in the gaps so much better than the practical can sometimes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was such an excellent choice to just cut their heads off.
I think that's the right thing. I mean, you mean not have them in frame?
Yes. Yeah. Not decapitate anybody.
Also, then David is saying all that, like their nose hairs or brooms.
Well, no, what was the thing? It was all the stuff you'd heard at the lodge.
Yeah, I know the lodge. Where did I go to the lodge?
I don't know. What is the lodge? Like,
I guess it's like hanging out or whatever.
It's like the club or something.
And then later you find out that my like great grandfather wrote the jokes. A joke book about giants.
Yeah, and the giants are not chill with it. Which I get. They're like that's very stereotypical. That's not funny.
It's funny. I like the giant jokes.
Yeah,
like that scene was funny, and it looked perspective wise because the camera went very high for their perspective.
More.
Yeah, I thought
you
it
know
was
what
good.
I mean? Which one did you like the best? What was your favorite one?
The jokes.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
No, of course. I'm sorry. No, you're totally good.
Just all of the making fun of them, I thought was
There's
clever.
one I think you have later, which is pretty funny, which is like they hate liars. They eat liars.
Oh, they eat the liars.
Yeah, that was a good one. Excuse me. Max finds Hugh in Alex's room and asks if he minds if he plays a practical joke on Alex. He dumps a box of crickets in Alex's room, and Hugh freaks out because he hates crickets.
Right. I didn't put that together. When I was watching it, I was like, why does Max have crickets? Like, what? I don't get that.
Why does Max do anything?
I understand, but it was there to service the story to have Hugh establish he doesn't like crickets, because then later you find out that his biological mother doesn't like crickets.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so silly. And Josh Sussman falling into the furniture and falling around and just being kind of clumsy and all over the place. It was really funny.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So then the Russos hear the ruckus upstairs.
The what? What was that?
The ruckus.
Was that a ruckus?
That was a ruckus.
Can you describe the ruckus?
And they head into Alex's room to investigate. Teresa laughs because she put a sign on Jerry's back saying, "I'm lazy."
And then I'm
then you're pissed.
Yeah, I'm genuinely hurt. Now the Giants think I'm lazy, you know. So funny.
Has anyone played a practice? Like, come on. You've got your two brothers. Somebody had to have played a prank on you.
A prank?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just don't like getting scared. My kids used to scare me all the time, and I was like, I don't like it, and I like have a reaction to getting scared. You know, I mean, I've told you about my brother.
You just like jump or
somebody. My friend Gary Potter came. We were meeting him at a restaurant.
Gary Potter,
yeah, and he came up and scared the shit out of me.
Oh no!
Out of nowhere,
and you pissed yourself.
No, I yell.
You sure?
I yell, ah! I scared everybody.
You were loud?
I was loud, Jen.
I punch people. I literally.
Yeah, like you go like
no,
this.
I can't go. I. It's not that I can't go, but like I
Like
like
being
going to,
scared.
Yeah. So when people scare me, I go like this. Like, so there was like this little old lady at the hospital, and I was like, oh God, she scared the shit out of me. And I went like this, and I was like, I can't punch this old lady. But it's like, I can't go to
make
like
contact?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. But like, but that's I turn into like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And so I have to be really careful when I go to like haunted houses and stuff. Cause when things jump at me, like that's what I do is I just go straight for like.
I went to the Universal
Oh,
Horror
it's
Nights.
such a fun one. Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like being scared. I don't like putting myself into a scary position. So we were with a group, and Yulia was with me, my wife, and I got scared, and I used her as a shield.
No, how did that go over?
Not great.
Yeah.
No, she was fine, but I was terrified, and that's just what happens. I shouldn't have used her as a shield, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was a fuck up for sure. I had an ex one time that was, he was one of the chainsaws. There's like apparently there's a whole. He was telling me.
Yeah,
when we were
like
dating.
a chainsaw.
Yeah. There's a
but
whole
you can-
hierarchy of like, oh, you're this position. The chainsaws
right, and
are
you're
like
not
the
allowed to
coolest.
technically touch anybody.
Well, they all do. Not the chainsaw people, but like all the other like cast do touch people. But there's this whole like underground like hierarchy of the Halloween Horror Nights. Whatever. The chainsaws are like coveted position.
Right.
Whatever. And it was the year that they were having like all those like clowns and stuff. There's like randomly pop up places. So
Clowns are so freaky.
Oh, dude, I can't. Clowns. Meh, like I hate clowns. I hate clowns. So and it was the tram tour. So I get off the tram tour, and there's like 6 chainsaws, and he's one of them, and I know he's one of them. And he obviously told his buddies to like fuck with me. So I'm there by myself because I'm meeting him once he gets off work at this thing. So they circle me and don't let me out of the fucking circle. So it's like 8 fucking clowns with chainsaws. And I'm like, it's not funny. I literally was like Harper being like, it's not funny. Fucking let me out of here. Like
scary.
I was really, it was not good. But yeah,
We were at
worst nightmare.
the not scary farm, and Dylan was pretty little, my youngest daughter. And these clowns with those things came up, and they were all running around scaring you. And he came up, and he was trying to scare Dylan. And
Absolutely not.
I was like, I said, it's okay, Dylan, don't worry. And the clown goes, Dylan,
No.
worry.
No.
Yeah. And then,
Fuck you forever.
And then I was like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And as we were leaving, the guy goes, hey, I'm a big fan.
Okay, that at least took the air out of it.
But it really scared her. Oh my God. Okay, moving on.
Just hearing that, I'm like, oh God, fucking clowns. Okay. So Justin and Alex take Hugh to help find his birth parents using the ancient and delicate Book of Wizard family tree, which Alex transforms into an actual tree whose leaves tell the lineage of every wizard. I loved this.
Yeah, this was cool. And
This
Jack,
is really cool.
Peter Marietta's assistant,
Yeah,
Jack,
at the
did the
time.
voice.
Yeah.
And also, but before this, when they're all leaving the small room, they all bunked their heads on the door. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Which is a classic gag from Taxi Cab, where they all hit their head on the pipe.
On the
coming
pipe,
down the
right,
stairs.
exactly.
Yeah. So Therese and Jerry find the kids in the lair and get mad at Alex for lying to them about harboring Hugh because he heard at the lodge that giants eat those liars.
Right.
They found out who Hugh's parents are, which are Lou and Mary Lou Feynman.
And hold on a second. My leaf, and maybe this hasn't happened yet, but my leaf,
No, it does.
it says the great-grandfather. What did I write? What does this say? Hold on. Stand by, everybody. Wait a second.
Stand by where we review some notes.
Ignatius Russo was the name who wrote the joke books.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was funny. Duke and Rose Russo. I didn't know my
Now you do.
the son of Duke and Rose Russo. I mean, I don't know if because we did an episode where we flash back and we go to the sub shop, but it's like the 50s diner, and there's a guy who played my dad. And I don't know if they called him Duke or not, you know? Our
Wizards was so good about being detail oriented sometimes, and then sometimes it was just like, fuck it.
Right.
And just like completely just, if it didn't serve the story that week,
then
they wouldn't tie it together. They would just leave it.
I just thought that was very interesting that they had my family history.
That you
as the
learned a little
leaf.
bit about it.
Yeah. And also that the leaf, it's funny. Look, the whole tree is there and there's all leaves. There's nothing discerning. And Josh Sussman goes, oh, here's my leaf. You know what I mean? He just finds it randomly.
Yeah, and it's this little leaf with a mouth. I mean, we got 22 minutes. He's got to find the leaf right away. He can't be searching for the damn leaf.
So it's Lou and Mary Lou.
Mary Lou Feynman.
Right.
So then we cut to Max, who's still trying to get Alex back. Harper finds him in Alex's room and asks what happened to Alex's room. It's a mess. So Max asks for her help, destroying everything in his room so it'll distract from the mess he made in Alex's room.
Right. So as if Alex messed her room up.
No, I don't think he thought about it that hard. I think it was just they'd be so focused on his room being a mess that they wouldn't think as much about her.
Right. It was very
just nonsense. And
very
I
confusing.
love the line of Harper just looking at him being like, this is why I never talked to you.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Back in the lair, the Russos are helping contact Hugh's parents and they wait for them to respond. Harper comes in and tells Alex, just like a good friend, she always tells her what's up, tells Alex Max's ridiculous plan, and Alex tells her to help him go through with it because sometimes it's nice to do something for others, so she could do this for her. Harper exclaims that you Russos are so manipulative. The Feynmans then come through the portal with matching Hugh Normous glasses.
Who are just perfect to be
Oh my
his
God,
parents.
the little glasses and then the wig that they had on the dad to match Josh's hair was perfect.
Yeah.
It was so perfect. They're so excited to meet him and they want Hugh to know that they always loved him and they only gave him up because his biological father can't keep a job or sell his pottery.
I know, but that was weird. That was really weird. We're going to give up our son for adoption.
Because we can't sell pottery.
Because we can't sell pottery. I mean, that was I get
it's a children's show. I don't think they're going to be like, he's a deadbeat dad, you know?
But it was like,
I agree.
It was very odd to me that I guess they had to address it. Why did you give him up for adoption? Well, because he can't sell or he doesn't have a job. We didn't have enough money. You know, I guess I was just looking for a little more as to why it was not. They didn't want to keep him, you know.
Sure. I agree. But I think it kind of felt like a little bit of a throwaway. But also too, I wonder how much they were able to really delve into that considering the time frame of the episode and also to the depth of that kind of issue.
Yeah, of course. It's huge.
And also to the gag, because like you were saying earlier, Mary Lou and Hugh talk about how, we have in common that we don't like crickets.
Right.
And then him and Lou go, what do we have in common? And he's
and
like,
they're just like,
they're just like,
right. Yeah, because they look identical.
Alike. Hugh's noticeably taller than both Lou and Mary Lou, which Lou jokingly states that Hugh's a giant compared to him and Mary Lou.
So when they cast the parents, they had to be shorter than Josh.
I guess.
To make
but
that.
Josh is tallish.
Yeah.
Right? I think so.
I guess.
Not like tall, but like tall.
I also think it's funny because when we interviewed him, he was like, I triple shaved during the day. I shaved because he was older. Mm-hmm. Did he seem, in this episode, as an audience member, did he seem older?
I didn't. Here's the thing with Josh is he has such a youthful energy naturally that I think a lot of times that helps him seem younger. Yeah. No matter how old he is, like he always has this like youthful energy. Well, you have that. You have a youthful energy.
Thanks,
no
Jen.
matter how old you get, it adds like a youthfulness.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I like it.
I like it too. I'll keep it. After Hugh decides to introduce his biological parents to his adoptive parents, Hugh and the Feynmores, is it the Feynmores or the Feynmans?
I think it's Feynman.
Feynmans.
Well,
that was an autocorrect on my phone.
We're gonna hang out, but I want to go get my my giant parents.
Yeah.
To come in all hang
out. The Feynmans invite his giant parents to come back, but they can only fit one of them on the couch.
Oh, right.
We can only fit only one giant will fit on the couch, on their little chair. Little chair. I love that. It's cute. They thank Alex for reuniting them, and Hugh says that what Alex did was the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for him.
And she says, I don't know what that feeling is in my stomach, and it's compassion. Right?
It's empathy. And she's
empathy.
It's not great, but it's fine. Jerry tells Alex that him and Teresa are very proud of him and how she helped Hugh, and Alex freaks out about that warm feeling in her stomach that Justin tells her, no, you're right, it is compassion. I wrote down compassion is compassion. In the tag, Max runs downstairs with a box of his broken things, exclaiming, oh my God, my room's destroyed, like very poorly lying about it. After Jerry and Teresa run upstairs to assess the damage, Max tells Alex that he showed her up by getting destroying his things. And then Alex is like, by fucking up your own shit. And Max realizes that ultimately Alex bested him again.
But then he doesn't, because then Justin is like, this is my shoe, this is my thing.
Yeah, he's like broken some of Justin's stuff.
And then he's happy again.
Yeah, he's
it
like,
was
look
confusing.
But also too, like it's I don't never overthink too much with the show in general, because it is a children's show, but also with Max especially, because Max was not thinking too deep about anything really. So he was just, I think Max just enjoys life, finds the good in everything. And so he was finding the silver lining in wrecking all of his own shit.
I like that. I think we should all be more like Max.
That's why he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I love Max. Do you have a question for this week? I actually don't have a question for this week.
Well, I think I already asked you the question,
What was
which
the
is, like if you adopted, what is your take on, telling the
no children in the first place.
no children.
Little girls. Like, what is that from Annie? I'm just not a kid person.
Did you know they did an Annie 2?
I don't want to know that.
My mom was in it.
Well, now I feel like an asshole. Thank you.
At the Pasadena Playhouse, they did it.
What,
Annie 2.
was it Annie all grown up, or Annie on a cruise, like Speed 2?
No,
What was
it was all the same kind of thing.
Annie goes to college. What was the premise?
I don't know, but we're gonna have to look.
We're gonna have to look it up. Annie 2, baby.
I'll call my
Annie
brothers.
2.
Hey, Peter, what was Annie 2 about?
Oh shoot, I did have a question for you. What was it? It just popped in my head and then it went away. Riveting television. Riveting. Fuck. I hate when that happens. I hate that.
Well, welcome to the club, Jen. That's what happens when you're older. You go, I can't remember. I did a Lucy just now.
You did.
I can't remember.
A Lucy. Wow. We're devolving. Okay, guys, because I can't remember shit about shit. So we're going to call it a day.
I do want to do a shout out to Josh.
Yeah,
Sussman,
Josh.
who did such a great job. I think he's after, I'm not sure.
After Larry Tate?
Yeah, he did like.
Maybe Dan. Maybe him and Dan are like.
Yeah.
I think Dan did a little bit more, but I think Larry Tate did a lot more, and then Zeke was in a little bit more than Josh. But Josh was there a lot.
Josh is so
Josh
funny.
with his Connect 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Josh.
We love you, Josh. And we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to our chaos for another week.
Goodbye.
Little girls.
What is that from?
It's from Annie.
Oh, shit.
That's
Sorry.
why I brought it up in the first place. Good Lord.
Little girls.
Little girls.
That's creepy.
It is.